Hello, good evening and welcome to a special look north from Centenary Square in Bradford. The city has come together to celebrate its year of culture. The stage is set, the performers have been hard at work practicing. But what impact will Bradford 2025 have on this city?
This is brought investment into the city that it couldn't have had without UK City of Culture. So this is a real game changer for us as a city and district.
We'll look at whether the City of Culture status has had an impact on other cities in the UK. Also tonight, an outdoor spectacle. 20,000 people are expected to come and watch the show, but in freezing temperatures, how do you prepare for an event like this? We'll meet some of those from communities across the city who volunteered to take part in tonight's performances.
Hey everybody, I'm Stephen Frayne and join me tonight here on Look North, where we're going to be talking about all things magic happening in Bradford for the capital of culture.
And it's bitingly cold in Bradford this evening, but how long is the big freeze going to continue? I'll be back at the end of the programme live here in Bradford.
Hello there, good evening. Thank you for joining us. What a night this promises to be. It has been months in the planning, but finally it has arrived. Bradford City of Culture officially starts tonight right here in Centenary Square. And take a look at the crowd behind me. The show rise is going to start really shortly. There's expected to be 10,000 people here. It's freezing cold, but there is such excitement. I have never seen City Square like this before. In fact, I don't think anybody has. This show has been put together by Stephen Frayne, the Bradford-born magician, formerly known as Dynamo, and theatre director Kirsty Housley. And it features people from right across the city coming together in one huge celebration. So tonight we're going to be seeing acrobats, circus skills, we're going to be seeing people flying, and I hope there's going to be a little bit of magic thrown in there as well by Stephen. The country's media has really descended on Bradford over the last couple of days. There has been such a buzz about the place. But when the cameras leave, what happens then? What is Bradford 2025 really about? And what difference will it make to the city, to those who live here? Our business correspondent Spencer Stokes has been taking a look.
UK City of Culture, what could it achieve? Will it boost the economy, increase tourism, or even improve health and education?
This is Bradford.
The creative director says the aim is to do all of those things, as well as altering perceptions.
There's a negative impression, negative perception of Bradford, which isn't true. Every city has its challenges. Every city has good and bad. You can't grow and kind of create transformation and see yourselves if you're constantly kind of seeing and only talking about what's wrong and what's not working.
So a chance to relaunch and reinvent the city, as well as increase investment. But economic experts have their doubts.
I think there are a number of different reasons as to why you would do City of Culture. Could be around civic pride or engagement with local communities. But when we look at the evidence around the impact on the economy, it is not clear that there is any long-lasting impact. You know, places like Hull, you've had this in the past, there hasn't been any sort of large revolution to their economies by hosting City of Culture.
So no revolution in Hull, but individual businesses have felt benefits. Joe Adams runs a city centre retailer for makers and creatives.
Hull is a very different city after the City of Culture happened. It was great to see the people of Hull support Hull, but it was also an opportunity for the city to shine a little bit brighter to people who might not traditionally come to Hull, and that definitely has stayed as a strong point for Hull.
A University of Hull study found 75% of those who visited in 2017 said it changed their perception of the city for the better. 1 in 4 businesses took on new staff and 5.3 million people attended events.
So you can see whereabouts you are.
The city's blue-coated hosts are one enduring legacy, ready to greet visitors at the railway station.
What they always said about City of Culture, it wasn't the solution. It was a catalyst for being able to show what this city can be and what it can offer.
2024 was a difficult year for Bradford. A city centre consumed by roadworks, a bus station shut down due to safety concerns, and the abandoned opening of the flagship Bradford Live venue.
I just think we need to calibrate our expectations and understand what it is that City of Culture can do, but more importantly, what it can't do, and what that might mean in terms of other interventions that we might need to make if we are going to make a place feel more prosperous.
There has been recent investment in Bradford. Accountancy firm PwC have opened a new office, and soon the arrival of Brit School North.
This is a once-in-a-generation opportunity. This is bigger and better than Bradford's ever had in the last 30 years. This is brought investment into the city that it couldn't have had without UK City of Culture. So this is a real game changer for us as a city and district.
Bradford in the spotlight for a year, but if City of Culture is to be a success, the impact should be felt for decades. Spencer Stokes, BBC Look North, Bradford.
Well, joining me now is Shanaz Gulzar, the Creative Director of Bradford 2025. Shanaz, so wonderful to see all this behind us, isn't it? It's such an exciting evening for the city, but as Spencer said there, these events don't solve the city's problems.
No.
Will this really make a difference to people living here?
Well, I think this scene, this evening, is already showing that difference is being created and difference is being made. In that show this evening, over 200 Bradfordians are in it. They're owning it, they're learning new skills, they're taking themselves and putting themselves out of the comfort zone. It doesn't solve everything, but it galvanises and it creates, that kind of opportunity.
And how do you build on from tonight throughout the year and beyond that?
Well, we've already started through the programme that we've tried to create for the year, the opportunity for young people within the team itself. We've got over 40 young people who are delivering a once-in-a-generation opportunity for their city, for their hometown. The partnerships that are developing, the relationship cross-sector, cross-industry, and I'd hope that some of those would start to started in 2025, would carry on.
There's a beautiful music venue just over here, Bradford Live. It was supposed to be open in time for the Year of Culture. Are you disappointed that that hasn't happened?
I'm a very optimistic person, and I know the council is working really, really hard to try and kind of ensure that it is part of 2025. And I'm hopeful, and I know that it will open in 25. I'm really hopeful. I'm optimistic about it.
And what legacy do you hope the City of Culture will have here?
I think legacy is started the minute we decided to be. The ownership, the pride, the kind of shifting the narrative on Bradford. The legacy started then and is continuing. We're halfway through our Culture is Our Plan, a 10-year strategy for the city and district. We know the galvaniser and giving opportunity to a city and district that a City of Culture can do, and that's what it's doing.
It's going to start really shortly, but I've got one more question for you, Shanaz. It's been so cold the last few days. The weather has been problematic. We've seen 200 schools closed in Bradford this week. The roads have not been gritted to some of those schools. That's caused issues. Was it right to prioritise this event?
We needed to kind of give something to Bradford, give something to Bradfordians. The needs of schools are so diverse and so different compared to the needs of this show that this is one single place that is incredible diverse need across the district. And I think this show, just the fact that people have turned out, just shows itself why it was necessary.
Shanaz, thanks so much for your time and best of luck with the Year of
Thank you so much.
Well, as Shanaz said, there are a huge mix of people here. There's young children here with their parents. There's pensioners here in the crowd. It's got even busier since we came on air. The show's about to start any moment, so just while we're waiting for that build-up, let's talk a bit more about the weather because it's bitter. -4 tonight. We have seen the coldest temperatures for 4 years, and here in the centre there's been plenty of snow on the ground. So how do you put on a spectacular performance like this? Well, it takes a lot of planning and hard work, as Jacob Tomlinson has been finding out.
Bradford is no stranger to hosting big events or dealing with large crowds.
30 years have elapsed since Mr. Churchill was last in Bradford.
But creating a space fit for thousands of people is a challenge at the best of times. But then throw in some Yorkshire weather, and well, let's just say you'd hate to be the person in charge. Speaking of which,
we're stood actually on Bridge Street at the moment, which is just outside the event space for Rise itself.
Ben Pugh is the director of production, and he's been busy preparing for the launch event, Rise.
We're a week out as we're standing now, and we've got contractors working on site to start to build the staging, the structures, putting up lighting and sound. This one event sort of sets the stage for us. So it's Tuesday today, we're 3 days out. Despite our push to keep going and to get things up and ready, teams have been working so hard actually literally around the clock at the moment. We've had the snow ploughs out, we've had council teams down here doing their best to kind of keep paths clear, doing gritting and all sorts of things. And then that's allowed our site crew and our technical teams, our lighting and sound teams to get on and do the work that they need to do. We knew it was going to be cold, we knew it was going to be winter, we knew that this is outdoor events in the UK, but this has been a challenge, I think it's fair to say.
It's seeing transformations like this one that show there's a real sign of exciting things to come in 2025. Jacob Tomlinson, BBC Look North, Bradford.
Well, Rise has started. We've just seen Kirsty Taylor literally rise from the audience. She's a local writer and poet. She came through the middle of the crowds and did a really powerful piece of written word there. We're now hearing from another poet and writer. You can see up here in City Square, there's a beautiful orchestra playing up there with the spoken word over the top. I'm just going to be quiet for a few seconds so we can take a bit of that in.
We know how we see our city, but our history combines strength, and what we can achieve with unity is magic.
So that's the Airedale Symphony Orchestra that we can see up there illuminated. We can hear them reverberating around City Square. It's really powerful, really quite emotional actually. And one of the people who's the centre of this performance tonight and in creating it is Stephen Frayne. In fact, can we hear him? I think we can hear his voice here in the background. He's the magician formerly known as Dynamo. He's one of the creators. He's Bradford born and bred. Really proud to be from here. He's done his magic from all over the world, but he told me it was so important that he was here to rise up with the people of Bradford. I caught up with him earlier.
I'm from here, like this is my city, and it's where I earned my chops as a young magician trying to make it in the world. You know, right there, right in the square is where I was doing street magic when I was a kid. So to be able to kind of be back here now, you know, and sharing it on the big stage, that's amazing.
Why does Bradford need this?
I just think that when you go up in a city, like when you don't grow up in one of the big cities, you often get overlooked. But things like this, they give us small town folks the kind of perspective that there's opportunity out there. And I think when you get a bit of opportunity, it can change everything, because there's so many young people and older people who live in Bradford who have so much ambition but don't know how to realise those dreams. But things like this give us an opportunity to show everyone what we're made of.
Let's talk about tonight's performance. It's all been very cloak and dagger. You're known for your death-defying performances. Are we going to see any of that tonight?
I mean, I've got a few things in store. You know, I don't want to die tonight. You know, I want this to be the most amazing experience for the people of Bradford, and I want to, you know, show off some of my favourite things, as well as showcasing, you know, the incredible talent from Bradford. Like the whole show is, you know, you've got a choir, an incredible choir. Like you've got, you know, spoken word poetry, you've got dance, you've got all these incredible things, you know, and a little bit of magic thrown in there. It should be like, you know, like it's almost going to be like The Greatest Showman all rolled into one.
Such a diverse city, Bradford, isn't it, which makes it beautiful. How will that be reflected in the performance tonight?
To put all these people together on stage, it just shows the true sense of community. It shows it doesn't matter where you come from, you can all do something incredible. And tonight, we're doing it together.
You are one of Bradford's most successful exports. Does Bradford still feel like home for you?
Oh, there's nowhere else on the planet that feels like home other than Bradford for me. I mean, just when I drive back into the city, I'm just like, yeah, I'm home now. I mean, I kind of miss being able to go to my nana's for her famous corned beef hash and a giant Yorkshire pudding. That was my hot thing. I'd always come to Bradford and go straight to my nan's and she'd cook that for me. Sadly, she's not here with us now, but hopefully she'll be watching this show from somewhere.
What do you hope the legacy of this year of culture will be for Bradford?
I think this is the beginning of helping the next generation of Bradfordians go out there and really realise their dreams and show people that, you know, we can do stuff and that anything's possible if you kind of work together and put your mind on something. And I think that it's very easy to think that you don't have the capacity to do much in the world. You know, we all can feel small and insignificant. Even I do at times still. You know, I still pinch myself at all the things I've been able to go on and achieve. But I think if my story is a testament to the fact that miracles do happen, you know, I was never meant to make it off the council estate, you know, and somehow I found myself performing all over the world. And it feels like I've gone full circle now to perform back here in my hometown. This is actually my first ever time doing magic on stage in Bradford. So that's kind of really exciting, and hopefully it's the first of many.
The loveliest man. Thanks so much for Stephen's time, and we cannot wait to see what he's got in store for tonight's performance. From one Bradford boy to another, we've just seen Cruzy T on the stage saying, oi, 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 I'm a Bradford boy. 9 years old, thousands of followers, and he raps about Bradford, about being a young lad, and about his mates as well. That was really good fun. He got all the crowd going. So tonight is not just put together with professionals and by professionals. Lots of people, as we heard Stephen saying, have joined together. It was really important to have 200 volunteers all rising together to do their bit for Bradford. We caught up with some of them, spent the last few months rehearsing inside school halls, and then early this week we saw them on the stage rehearsing as well. I don't know if you can see behind us these boxes here that have got dancers in them. We're going to see some of our volunteers dancing in those cubes really shortly. First of all, let's hear from Irene Callie. She's joined some of them.
So it's just a few days to go and rehearsals are in full swing. It's the first time those taking part have seen the stages at all, and it's fair to say there are some last minute nerves.
Can't wait to get going, but I can't lie, I'm a little bit nervous. It's so high, but excited as well.
The structure looks incredible and I'm just so excited to get on it.
Others had no idea what they were letting themselves in for.
You need to spin, don't you?
We got put into hoists and lifted up off the ground, and then it was filmed on green screen, so they could then take out all the background of us
and
kind of
like
flying around, which is then going to be apparently projected onto these cubes.
So everyone can see it.
Greg Shaw, a graphic designer from Shipley, was roped in by his wife and his 12-year-old daughter, Monroe.
We thought we'd be just, you know, maybe like just in the background going, yay, we're here to support Bradford, and then nope, it turned into a lot more than that.
I was allowed to go upside down, and then there was this lady, she was in a full green bodysuit and she was spinning me round.
The volunteers practiced in sports halls after work and school, and the show director says the event couldn't work without them.
It's about them, so they had to be at the heart of it, and they're also at the heart of making it as well, so they're making it with us and they're devising it with us. When you're working with real people, they're bringing a whole lot with them, and this show is sort of about them. It's a celebration of Bradford and the people who make it magic, so we sort of couldn't really make it without them.
It's been a bitterly cold start to the new year, but these volunteers are determined. These plummeting temperatures will not stop Bradford's moment in the spotlight. Irene Carley, BBC Look North, Bradford.
We will catch up with Greg and Monroe on Monday's Look North to see what they made of being part of this tonight. But before that, let's catch up now with our voices of Bradford. You saw there Irene. We also have Olivia and Tamara as well. Girls, oh my goodness.
It's crazy.
Isn't it crazy?
Amazing.
Olivia, what do you make of tonight?
Honestly, I feel like tonight is a prime example of how many talented, passionate and driven people there are here in Bradford. You've got people that have never performed to an audience before ever in their lives, stood up there in front of 10,000 people. It's crazy, and the amount of drive that's going to have for everyone else living in this city is just beautiful. It is.
What do you make of what you've seen so far? What have been the highlights?
Honestly, amazing. MC Cruzy, absolute legend. Iconic. I want tickets to his first show.
Irene, how has this whole experience been for you with the City of Culture? There's been such a buzz today, hasn't there?
Yeah. I mean, in one word, magic. Absolute magic. It's almost like everything's clicking into place, and it makes so much sense why we decided to open the year with magic. There is a buzz. There's always been a buzz through the last few months. There's been something simmering under the surface, and now we get to share this with everyone else in the city, and I'm just mind blown.
Heather, you've had the opportunity here where you girls have been part of this build-up with Bradford. But what do your friends and family make of it? Have they felt a difference since it got this status?
Absolutely. We've had 10,000 people come to the square in the coldest week in winter. We've got 200 performers, all of them Bradford born, kids who are performing in front of a massive audience. That takes massive confidence. We're able to showcase the talent in Bradford, so of course it's affected everyone. It's made tidal waves across the community, I'd say, and it's really been, I feel like, a catalyst for change, and particularly a change in people's attitude about how they feel about their city.
And has it made a difference to how you feel about your city? Because you're in your 20s, and we've spoken before, haven't we, about how you can't wait to get out of the place you were born, but this has given you a different sense of belonging.
I think this is the year we turn it round for Bradford. I feel like Gen Z and Gen Alpha, they are generations that wouldn't change and want to do bits, and I feel like this year we really are going to do that for Bradford. This is the year we turn the city on its head.
Well, we're going to hear loads more from the three of you throughout the year as well. We're really excited for that. I know you want to watch the show, so I'll keep going like this.
What's next?
You enjoy the shows. Thanks so much, girls.
Thank
You've done
you,
some brilliant
Amy.
work for us so far, so enjoy it.
Thank you.
Oh gosh, I think we should listen to a bit of this, don't you? I'm going to shh for a second. Made up of 4 different choirs, including the Friendship Choir, which is made up of refugees and asylum seekers. I've got goosebumps. It is so beautiful to hear them sing, and that sound reverberating around City Square is really quite something. You know, it's freezing tonight, but I've totally forgotten all about the cold because I've got a lovely warm feeling now, Keely. But it has been bitter this week, hasn't it? Last night, we
today, and now when we're on air now it's already below freezing. And actually the wider picture, it was -8 at Topcliffe at the top of the Vale of York last night. That's our official Met Office station, and it dropped down to -12 in Swaledale, an unofficial site. So let's move on with the forecast. First, a quick look at the graphics for tomorrow night. It looks like it's going to be still bitterly cold. There'll be more cloud around here in Bradford, and there could be the odd snow flurry as well. But you don't need me to tell you, the side roads and pavements are still covered in ice, and as the big freeze continues, that will continue to be a risk through the rest of the weekend because it does stay cold. So let's have a little look at the graphics for overnight tonight. The odd coastal shower, but generally it looks dry with clear spells. We've got some freezing mist and fog developing overnight in some spots, and another severe frost. On the graphics you'll see -6, -7, but in the colder spots it could be as low as -10. And then tomorrow some of that freezing mist and fog will linger in places, but otherwise there'll be some sunshine around. I think we'll see more cloud moving in from the west later in the day, and it could produce the odd wintry flurry, the odd snow shower, particularly in the west later on. Temperatures, some places will stay sub-zero, 1 or 2 degrees, I think, at best. So let's look at the further outlook then, because it does look like Sunday's still going to be a cold day. There'll be some spells of sunshine, but also some areas of cloud and a noticeable breeze as well. And then it gets slightly less cold on Monday, 6 or 7 degrees. By Tuesday we'll be in double figures. So I think we'll then next be looking at that big thaw. Amy.
Keely, thank you. I didn't hear a word of that.
I can't hear you
either. I'm pretty sure you said it was cold, so we'll go with that, shall we? We're hearing Kenzo rapping in the background there. We're going to have to go because we will watch the show and the programme is finished, but this performance will all be repeated tomorrow night. It's a sellout tomorrow night, another 10,000 people here. There's a special documentary next Friday behind the scenes, and we'll have highlights on Monday night. Here's some of the best bits so far.